And we've got 10 games for the NBA this Saturday. The headliner, I guess, being the game in Mexico City between the Miami Heat and the Washington Wizards. We've got some good games. We've got some interesting lines. And, the NBA continues to just be unpredictable. Shout out to the New Orleans Pelicans screwing me again yesterday, right? I mean, hell, we picked the Pelicans in 4 straight games. They don't win any of them, and they don't cover any of them. And then they go on to beat the Pacers when we take the Pacers. Yep, and then the Bulls lose to, I guess, the best team in the NBA in the Brooklyn Nets. I don't understand. I thought we were getting a better read, but then yesterday, those 2 games weren't great for us. Overall, we didn't have a bad day, but man, the 2 games I felt pretty good about. Pacers winning on the road, Nets losing to the Bulls. No, we got screwed. It's okay. We're trying to bounce back here on this Saturday slate. Again, 10 games here on Saturday. Then we got 3 more on Sunday. Then every single team in the association plays on Monday. But we'll get to that when we get there. And folks, if you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Also on the channel, we do have our NFL predictions. Of course, the game's coming tomorrow, so go check out our predictions video on the channel as well. College football, I know, is going on right now, but we have that college football prediction video out as well. Same with the UFC Edmonton Moreno versus Albazi predictions. Again, that card is later tonight, so go make sure you look at all of those videos after this one as we get in now to the first of 10 games. We start things off here with the Boston Celtics taking on the Charlotte Hornets. I just saw this game. Just did. Celtics won the game by 15 points. I'd expect them to do it by somewhat, close to that same margin. They're getting 10.5 here on the road. Again, kind of what they got last night. They won the game by 15 points. Tatum put up 32. Obviously, again, LaMelo Ball is everything for this Charlotte Hornets team, and he's going to continue to be everything for this Hornets team as well. Again, Brandon Miller is still injured. Obviously, you had that thing of the foul, the Grant Williams foul on Jason Tatum. It is what it is. Both these teams are going to be, I guess, a little bit more pumped to play this game. But ultimately, guys, the Boston Celtics, I keep on saying it, they are one of the best teams in the NBA right now. And they will continue to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Of course, they got that one slip up to the Pacers, and of course, the Pacers respond by losing in New Orleans. I still will not get over that. But Boston's 5-1. The only loss again being that Pacers game. They just beat Charlotte last night, and I expect them to do more of the same. Again, Jason Tatum. Guys, so far this season, you can hate Tatum, you can like Tatum, but he's coming off of winning his first championship, and now Tatum himself is really establishing himself as a superstar in this league. He's been putting up pretty much 30 points every single night so far this year. When he leads Boston in points, Tatum's putting up 35 a night. He's doing a good job. I can't be critical of the guy. Boston's playing great basketball, and they're playing, again, a team that they are very much expected to beat. Again, it's a sure thing the Boston Celtics win this game. It's just dependent on if they cover the spread. I think they do. Again, Boston's going to come out firing because of that whole, the whole that thing with Williams and Tatum yesterday. I'd expect them to blow the brakes off of the Charlotte Hornets, and I'd expect the Celtics to dominate. Again, we just saw this game. I don't mind Charlotte that much, but Boston is just the better team. They really just outmatch whatever the Hornets have got going. So give me Boston to win, and I like them to cover the 10.5 points as well. Next up, we go to Philadelphia. We've got the 76ers taking on the Grizzlies. I don't like picking the Grizzlies, but I'm going to pick them here just because the Sixers have been atrocious this year. And now, again, the NBA continues to be somewhat unpredictable with how we've got the Indiana Pacers losing to Philadelphia, but then the Pacers go out and beat the Celtics. Both those games were in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse over there in Indianapolis, Indiana. It doesn't make sense. But the Sixers, and again, that's what happens when you've got a league that plays 82 games and you just don't know what to get sometimes. The 76ers have been the Tyrese Maxey show all season long. Again, Maxey has been the entire Sixers team so far. Andre Drummond's really cleaned it up on the glass as well, but Maxey's leading this team in points. He's leading this team in assists as well. And of course, still no Embiid, still no Paul George. When those guys come back, I don't know, but until they come back, Philadelphia is going to continue to drop games. Memphis is coming off their win against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are absolutely atrocious, and I have a play I like with the Bucks later today, but, I don't know what to get anymore, considering, some of these lines don't make sense sometimes, and what actually happens in these games don't make sense either, but, everything I'm seeing tells me the Bucks are going to lose later, but we'll get to that in a moment. The Grizzlies lost to the best team in basketball, apparently in the Brooklyn Nets. I swear, the Nets don't miss shots. They don't. Schroeder had an off night last night, but still, Cam Thomas is shooting buckets. You've got Cameron Johnson. You got these randoms off the bench who can unload threes at will. I don't get it. I thought the Nets were tanking this year. They're the best team in basketball right now. That's a joke, but still, they just feel like they just don't miss shots. I don't know. I don't know. Memphis has confused me all season long too, right? I loved them in that Rockets game. They lost. They were like, you know what? We're going to take the Magic to beat them. Still, Banchero, the Magic lost. And then the Grizzlies lose back-to-back to the Bulls and the Bulls and Nets, but then they beat Milwaukee, which makes sense because Milwaukee's horrible. John Morant put up a triple-double in that game, and I'd expect them to, just beat up here on the Sixers. Guys, Philly's not good right now. Philadelphia's not playing good basketball, and I'd expect the Grizzlies to go out there and win this game. Again, it's all Tyrese Maxey for Philadelphia. Other than that, they are very weak, and I'd expect the Grizzlies to go out there and win this game. It's going to be Memphis to win, and I think they cover the 2.5 points as well. Next up, we go to Toronto. We've got the Raptors taking on the Sacramento Kings. I mean, what an abysmal first half for the Raptors yesterday against the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, it couldn't have been any worse for Toronto to start that game. And of course, the Lakers continued to dominate as that one progressed. And of course, Anthony Davis put up 38 points in the 80s, doing what he's supposed to do this season. Again, the guy's the best player in basketball. I'm going to continue to say that all season long. Anthony Davis is the MVP, guys, and it was just more evident last night, again, in that game against Toronto for the Lakers. The problem with the Raptors is they still have 4 big injuries. Now, Jacoby Walter, I believe, is going to be making a season debut today, but other than that, Emmanuel Quickley's out, Scotty Barnes is out, Bruce Brown is out, Kelly Olynyk's out. I mean, they're still very injured, and obviously, no Quickley and no Barnes really hurts this team, and really, again, a good bench guy, too, in Bruce Brown being hurt really impacts the Raptors, and I'd expect the Kings to straight up dominate this game. The Kings are healthy, and the Kings are a good team. I speak at lengths every day about how good the Sacramento Kings are. They're coming off their victory on the road against the Atlanta Hawks, beating that team by 8. De'Aaron with 31, Sabonis with 14 boards and 6 assists. I like everything the Kings do. Again, I've said it again time in and time out. Their only losses this season are the Timberwolves and the Lakers, and those are 2 top 4 teams in the Western Conference, and the Kings might be in that top 4 as well. They're definitely in the top 8. They're definitely probably in the top 6. I'd expect Sacramento to win this game. I'd expect the Kings to absolutely dominate this one as well. Again, they've got too many weapons on offense for them to lose games like this, and I'd expect them to just completely blow the Raptors out the water. Again, De'Aaron, Sabonis, Keegan, DeRozan. I mean, they've got guys on this team that are going to be able to score at will against whatever the Raptors are putting out there. Again, I just don't like what the Raptors have right now, especially with three key pieces. Hell, Kelly Olynyk's the 4th, but 4 big pieces in your 10-man rotation aren't playing. It's rough. Boucher's back, but still, I mean, again, they're still starting Davion Mitchell, and then again, no Scotty Barnes means no wins for this Raptors team. I'm sorry. At least, again, I don't think they're able to stay competitive with Sacramento. This is a really good Kings team that should just go into Toronto and dominate this game. Give me the Kings to win, and I like them to cover the 7.5 as well. Next up, we go on to Houston. We've got the Rockets taking on the Golden State Warriors. I like the Warriors to cover the 5.5. I will ever so slightly go with the Rockets because I swear every time I pick against the Rockets, they win. So I'm going to stop picking against the Rockets. And now this will probably be the time that the Rockets lose a game. But I feel like this is a game the Rockets have to win, right? They have to win this one. Andrew Wiggins is back, but no Steph Curry, no DeAnthony Melton. That means Podziemski's going to be running this, lineup. He's going to be running the points for this game. The Warriors are 5-1. Their only loss is the game to the Clippers, in which we took the Clippers at plus 300 dogs that day. I'm going to keep tooting my own horn on that one. And again, that game was not as a result of Steph Curry being injured. No, they were on their way to losing that game prior to the Steph Curry injury. But regardless of that, Golden State won back-to-back games over the New Orleans Pelicans. And damn it, I hate the New Orleans Pelicans. I can't get anything right with the Pelicans. Legitimately, I can't. I can't get a read on that team, apparently. I don't know what's going on. Houston, too. I mean, this is a team, again, they're 3-2. I usually pick against the Rockets. I'm going to stop picking against this team. We picked against them on the opener against the Hornets, and we were right. So then we just started fading the Rockets every single game. And, it hasn't really worked all that well for us. So we're going to pick the Rockets here. I'm going to stop hating on what this team has. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to, again, I've always acknowledged Jalen Green as a premier player in this league. I just haven't liked his supporting cast. Well, I've always known Sengun is good. The rest of the team kind of has always concerned me, but I think they have too many weapons to beat the Warriors here. I just think they outmatch Golden State. They've outmatched Golden State with Curry out, with DeAnthony Melton out. Again, I just feel like the Warriors are missing, obviously. They're obviously missing their best player. I don't know when Steph will be back. I think it's going to be a while until Curry returns. He'll be reevaluated on Sunday, but he's definitely not playing again in this game against the Rockets. I feel like this is a chance for the Rockets to jump all over this and get to 4-2, which is, I think, surprising because I really had no expectations for Houston coming into the season. I get Sengun's a great player. He is. He's a very good center in this league. I'm surprised by what Jalen Green has been able to do this season. I'm not going to lie to you. Jalen Green has led the Houston Rockets in points every single game so far this season. Shout out to him. He's averaging 27 and a half. Sengun's averaging 12 and a half boards. That's a winning recipe right there. And again, Houston's 3-2. I think they're going to go to 4-2. I think the Warriors are good enough to keep this game competitive because of the shooting that they have. I mean, Buddy Hield has been lights out so far this season. I'm not going to say he's going to continue that all season long, but I think the Warriors shooting is able to keep them in this game. But I think the Rockets do win it. Give me Houston to win the game, but give me the Warriors to cover the 5.5 in this one, again, in the Toyota Center, I do believe. Yes, in Houston, Texas. Next up, I don't understand this guy. I don't understand it. I don't understand this one. The Bucks are home favorites against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are playing like the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. They are 6-0. Why are they underdogs in Milwaukee? Middleton's not back yet. There's all this turmoil within Milwaukee that maybe Giannis is done after this season in Milwaukee. Maybe in the middle of the season, I doubt he gets traded, but there's a lot of stuff spewing that at the end of the season, Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to get moved from the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I don't have a doubt in my mind that the Bucks are making the playoffs. They're going to be a playoff team. They've got too much talent not to be a playoff team. 1-4, who cares? Again, they have too much talent to not get into the dance. But it's weird. They can't win games. Giannis is still doing everything. Dame hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad. But it's the rest of the team, man. I mean, again, you get Giannis and Dame who are killing it, but it's just the supporting cast. I mean, you have Taurean Prince playing big minutes in replacement of Chris Middleton due to the injury, and Taurean Prince really hasn't done all that well. I mean, hell, Darvin Ham's the coach of this team, so it is what it is. He's an assistant, obviously, to Doc Rivers. Gary Trent really is not producing that well. Bobby Portis is doing all right. Brook Lopez is doing what they need him to do, but they don't get much production out the bench. And Prince and Trent, the guys who, again, are filling in the starting lineup, really aren't doing much either. I mean, I get it. TP's there for his defense, but I don't like the Bucks this year right now. Maybe not this year, but right now I just don't like what Milwaukee's doing, and I really like what the Cavs have got going. Again, we talked about it in that game against the Magic, right? I mean, we thought they were going to cover against Orlando. They did. I think they were getting 8.5 at home. They won the game by 11 points, but they've got so many guys who can just step up and score. I mean, every night it feels like someone else is breaking out for Cleveland, whether it's Evan Mobley. Hell, they had a night where Dean Wade led them in points. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. Garland again. I mean, they've got so many guys who can just step up and score, and they've got guys who are going to produce in the glass, obviously with Mobley and Jared Allen. I really like what the Cavs have. Guys, I think they beat the Bucks twice. These two teams will meet again on Monday. I think the Cavaliers are going to beat the Bucks back-to-back games. I get they're underdogs, but I'm going to jump all over this. Again, something's up, obviously, because the Bucks are favorites. I mean, this is a team that hasn't won a game. They're 1-4. They've lost they won their first game and then dropped 4 in a row. Obviously, something's up. I mean, I should have known something was up when the Texans played the Jets, and I was like, oh, the Jets suck, and the Texans are 6-2 or 5-2, and then, the Jets win that game at MetLife. Regardless of that, I don't think the Cavs lose this game. They are 6-0. They've looked great this season. Again, if you want to see how good the Cleveland Cavaliers are, watch their game against the Lakers and watch the Lakers play everybody else. Again, I get it's one game. It's in Cleveland. The Lakers on the road. I understand it. But just watch how well the Cavs play in that game. I'm sold. I am sold on Cleveland. I get it. They beat the Magic without Paolo, but the Cavs are good, and they should beat the Bucks. Yes, Giannis is going to score. Yes, Dame is going to score. What the hell else does this team have? Nothing. They need Chris Middleton desperately back just for their offense, just for their rotation. But until Middleton's back, we can't trust the Bucks, which is crazy because this, again, is a team with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. But right now, you can't trust them without Chris Middleton. It's going to be the Cavs to win the game. Obviously, they're going to cover as underdogs. They're getting +1.5. Give me Cleveland to go into Milwaukee and win this game. They're getting +2.5. Just take the money line. I think the Cavs are going to go out here and win this one in Milwaukee. Next up, we go on it to San Antonio. We've got the Spurs hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. I get it. Minnesota's on a second half of a back-to-back. I don't care. They're not losing this game, and they're not winning this game by less than 3 points. Minnesota should easily take care of San Antonio here. The Spurs wins this season are the Rockets. Okay, good win. And then in Utah. And then the Jazz are playing like the worst team in basketball right now. And simply, it's not even close. Again, we will get to Utah. We will get to Utah when we get to them. Obviously, they're not playing today. Actually, they are playing today. They're playing the Nuggets. Again, I will go on my little spiel about the Utah Jazz because, guys, they're absolutely atrocious. Regardless of that, the Spurs beat the Jazz by 20 points, don't care. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 3-2, their losses being the Mavs and the Los Angeles Lakers, but a big win for them last night, again, over the Denver Nuggets, winning that game by 3. Again, Jokic had a shot at the end of the game, but Minnesota, again, comes down with the victory, winning that one 119-116. Anthony Edwards is that guy, obviously, you know that. And again, we said it yesterday, and we're going to say it again, Julius Randle is going to continuously get better in this offense. He's going to get better with this team as a whole. He's finding his role on this Timberwolves squad as well. And that's big time, man. It's absolutely big time for Minnesota that Julius Randle is able to, again, get this production. Again, 23 points last night through 37 minutes. He went 8 for 13 shooting. I mean, you can't ask for a better performance out of Julius Randle than what they got. Ant with 29. Gobert's putting up points, obviously, and Gobert's contributing like he does on defense, being one of the best defensive players in the league, if not the best defensive player in the league. And again, San Antonio, I like what San Antonio is doing this season. I think they're going to be better than they were last year. No Devin Vassell tomorrow or tonight. No Trey Jones as well. That's fine. Regardless of the injuries, I think Minnesota would handle them no matter what. I get it's the second half of the back-to-back, but guys, the Timberwolves are just the way better team compared to them and the Spurs. Again, I like what the Spurs are doing. I think they're going to be much improved this season. Obviously, I think they look much improved. But I'm not picking against the Timberwolves here. The Timberwolves are playing really good basketball right now, and they should be able to go into San Antonio, and they should be able to cover the spread. 3.5 again is not enough for Minnesota. So give me the Timberwolves to go into San Antonio and cover the spread. Okay, we go into our next one here. It's the Mexico game. We've got the Miami Heat taking on the Washington Wizards. Again, I guess the premier game today. I mean, it's the only game on national television, so we're gonna talk about it like it is the biggest game of the day. The Heat and the Wizards. And the Wizards actually have been somewhat surprising. They're 2-2 after dropping their first 2 games to 2 very good basketball teams, and you can argue the 2 best in the Eastern Conference in the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Wizards win back-to-back games against the Atlanta Hawks, who are a very confusing team. But shout out to the Wizards, man. I mean, again, a surprising team so far this season. Jordan Poole's leading the team in points with 22.5. Shout out to Bilal Coulibaly with 18 or 19 so far this season. Kyle Kuzma obviously doing his thing. We love the shooting out of Corey Kispert, obviously, and Jonas Valanciunas has been a nice, welcome addition to this team. Alexander Sarr, obviously, Alex Sarr will get there. He's not... he's a good defensive unit right now. Sarr will become a better player as we go on this season, obviously. He's just played 4 games so far this season. Again, I think Sarr is going to be good. Regardless of that, obviously for the number 2 pick in the Wizards in Sarr, you've got the Miami Heat on the other side. Miami's been doing okay. They're 2-2 again. The wins are over Charlotte and Detroit. Not great teams, and the losses are to the Magic and the New York Knicks. Tyler Hero put up 34 points in their loss to New York in their last game. He leads their team in points currently, points per game with 22.5. Jimmy Butler has struggled out the gate so far this season, and that's ultimately why I don't think Miami is going to be able to cover in this game. I think they're going to win it. I just think, again, they play better defense than the Wizards, and I don't expect that we continue to see the same production out of these guys in Washington. Like, again, Jordan Poole's having good games, Bilal Coulibaly's having good games, but at the end of the day, guys, the Wizards still don't have the amount of talent that the Miami Heat have, and I don't expect them to keep competitive, or at least, I don't expect them to win a game against this Heat squad, considering, again, the definite advantage in depth and in talent Miami has. Obviously, again, Jimmy, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, again, Jamie Jaquez. I mean, there's better guys, obviously, on the Miami Heat. Again, I think the Wizards are playing great basketball. They're playing well considering what they are. Kyle Kuzma's not playing, so Marvin Bagley will enter the starting rotation, who, don't forget, was picked before both Luka Doncic and Trae Young. Shout out to the Sacramento Kings. And again, Jordan Poole has done well so far this season. Do I expect him to continue that? I don't know. I mean, Poole's going to continue to put up a lot of shots, which I think, again, is what's needed for him and what is needed, I guess, for this Wizards squad. How it's worked back-to-back games where they beat the Hawks. I don't think they're able to beat Miami. I think Miami's just too good. I think Miami scores just more efficiently with guys like Tyler Hero, with guys like Jimmy Butler. Again, we got to see Butler get going eventually. I think this will be the game where he starts to pick it up. Again, the game's in Mexico. I don't think it's that big of a margin, though. I think 9.5 is just too much. Simply because, again, it is a game in Mexico. I feel like this game's going to be closer. It's in a neutral site. I think Washington is able to keep it competitive, but ultimately I do have the Heat to win the game. Give me Miami to win, but give me the Wizards to cover the 9.5 points in Mexico City. Next up, we go to the Denver Nuggets taking on the Utah Jazz, and 9.5 for this game simply is not enough. And I get it. The Denver Nuggets haven't blown anybody out this season. They haven't done it just because, I don't know, they're weird. They haven't won a game in regulation yet. They're 2-3, their losses being the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Los Angeles Clippers, and obviously last night to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Back-to-back wins in the middle of the week on Monday and Tuesday against the Toronto Raptors and Brooklyn Nets, both in overtime. Finally, though, last night, someone stepped up other than Nikola Jokic. It's Aaron Gordon, who dropped 31 and 11, but it's about damn time someone has stepped up other than the Joker. Again, Jamal Murray is going to do what he's going to do, but finally, again, Aaron Gordon finally putting up production for this Denver squad. This is the game the Nuggets fully regroup and absolutely decimate a team. Again, they still have not won a game in regulation this season. This is when it happens. Unfortunately for the Utah Jazz, the biggest, marquee team in their building is not them. It's the Utah Hockey Club this year. Shout out to Clayton Keller and the guys. Unfortunately for the Utah Jazz, they're just not meant to win this season. I like Colin Sexton. I like what he did last season. I'm a fan of Lauri Markkanen as well. But as a whole, I just think this team's going to struggle to compete this year. Guys, they haven't been in a close game since opening night. They played the Grizzlies tough. They lost the game by 2 points. Since then, they have not been in a close game. Of course, their last game against the San Antonio Spurs in Utah wasn't close either. They lost the game by 18 points at home. That's just not going to cut it. Now they have to go on the road to take on Denver. I'd expect the Nuggets to absolutely dominate this game. Again, Jokic should, produce. Again, if we get continued production out of Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, MPJ, who's kind of been a little bit silent this season, I think the Nuggets will absolutely steamroll the Utah Jazz. Guys, this game should be over at halftime. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. This should be a National Blowout Association game, and I think it's going to be. Give me the Utah Jazz to win this one. Hell no. I completely butchered that. My fault. It is 2:22 in the morning. The Denver Nuggets are going to dominate this game, and it's not going to be close. What do the Jazz have to offer? I'm serious. Nothing. It sucks for the Jazz, but they are right now the worst team in basketball, and it's not close. They don't have close games. I don't know why Denver's only... Actually, no, I do know why Denver's only getting 9.5. It's because they've been severely underwhelming, but I don't think that's going to continue, especially against a piss-poor Utah Jazz team. Give me the Nuggets to dominate at home, and they will easily cover the 9.5 points against the lowly Utah Jazz. And then we go to another game with a huge spread, the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, Portland might be the worst team in the NBA. I don't know. It might be Utah, it might be Portland. They're both pretty bad, but shout out to the Blazers, right? Going into Los Angeles, going into the Intuit Dome and beating the Clippers. I've talked about that game obviously before. Los Angeles couldn't make a shot in the last 96 seconds of that game, and the Clippers have choked back-to-back games now, and they just can't win in that new arena. Regardless, the Trailblazers bounced back and lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but guys, the Thunder are the best team in basketball. They just are. And we're going to talk about them. They are the final game of this 10-game slate on Saturday, but OKC's the best team in the NBA, and I'm going to remain on that. Other than that, though, Portland's wins are New Orleans, and guys, I don't know what to make of the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't understand that team sometimes. I still don't understand them. And then beating the Clippers is great, but that was just a historic choke job by the Clippers, and I think the Clippers are finally falling back down to earth, what they kind of should be without Paul George this season. Kawhi Leonard's injured. How far can just James Harden and Norman Powell and Zubac take you? I don't know. I'd expect the Suns to dominate this game. I just would. Is Bradley Beal finally back? I don't know. He's played 2 games this season. They're both the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't understand. They've won 3 in a row now. The Suns have beat the Mavs. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Clippers. They had that huge comeback in that Clippers game. They were down by 20 points at half, give or take, and they came back, stormed back, and won the game by 6 points. So they came back and covered. Shout out to D Book with 40 points. Again, Booker and Durant are going to continue to produce. Bradley Beal should be playing in this game for the Suns. I would expect him to. The game's in Arizona as well, so the Suns are at home. They're getting 12.5. Again, this is another game that should be over at halftime. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Again, Portland just had a game 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago where they played the Clippers close. That's enough close games for the Blazers for now. I get it. They got blown out by the Thunder, but the Suns are a team that should blow them out as well. Give me Phoenix to dominate at home. This one should not be close. 12.5 is a lot. Don't get me wrong. I personally wouldn't play it, but if we, the entire point of this video is to make picks. So we're taking the Phoenix Suns. Give me Phoenix to win this game at home, and I'm going to take them to cover the 12.5 points as well. As we go into our final game, of course, we've got not my favorite team, but The team I'm backing so far this season, and I back them every single night. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road to the Intuit Dome to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Guys, the Clippers are still going to be winless in the Intuit Dome. This will send them to 0-4. Again, the Clippers start the year, big game against the Suns. Didn't think they were going to be competitive with Phoenix. They ended up taking that game to overtime. They lost it by 3 points. They go on the road. They beat the Nuggets. They cash as plus 300 dogs, and we took them against the Golden State Warriors. But then they dropped back-to-back games to the Portland Trailblazers at home in a historic choke job. Actually, that wasn't that bad of a choke job. They just let Portland just hang around that one and beat them in the end. And then that game against the Suns, that was a historic choke job. That was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. Now, James Harden, again, Harden's been playing his ass off. I'm not going to understate how well James Harden's been playing this season. I mean, every night he's leading this team in assists, 16, 11, 10, 13. He's leading them in points almost every single night as well. And Norman Powell's been shooting lights out. Powell's been playing great basketball for this Clippers team. But again, how far can this take you? Norman Powell is not going to continue to average 25.5 points all season long. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. James Harden's playing well, yes, but how far can just James Harden take you? And Zubac and, Derek Jones, he does some cool dunks, he'll hit some threes. But, how far can these guys simply take you? Amir Coffey off the bench, Chris Dunn, KPJ. I mean, I don't know how far this lineup can really get the Clippers. Hell, Nick Batum's still playing. I would expect OKC to absolutely dominate this game. They're one of 2 remaining undefeated teams in basketball, obviously between them and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I don't think this undefeated run ends just yet. I think OKC continues to win. I'm going probably to pick OKC in every single game they play this season because that's how good they are. Guys, this team hasn't been in a competitive game so far this year. They played 5 games, none of them have been close. And it's not like they're playing scrubs. In Denver, they win by 15. In Chicago, they win by 19. They beat the Hawks by 24. They beat the Spurs by 12. They beat the Blazers by 23 points. They don't play close games. OKC's that good. They are the deepest team in basketball. They have one of the best players in basketball. They have a really solid power forward in Chet Holmgren, who can play the 5 as well, obviously. And obviously he does play the 5 for this team, but really he's a 4 who's playing up, which is fine. Chet's doing a great job. This team just got so much depth. Again, I talk about it every video. I mean, Shea, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, who's a great 3rd for this team. Chet Holmgren off the bench. Caruso's doing a great job playing defense. Isaiah Joe, AJ Mitchell. They've got guys, man. This team's just so deep. And again, there's a reason they're the best team in basketball. Again, we say it every day, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get you at least 26 points every single night. That's what he does. That's what SGA will do, and that's what SGA is going to continue to do for OKC. And they should be able to go into this one and beat up on the Clippers. Again, these back-to-back losses for Los Angeles have just been bad, let's be honest with you. And how many nights in a row can Norman Powell truly go off? I'm serious. I mean, how many nights will this continue? I think it comes to an end here. Again, the Clippers cannot win at home. They are 0-3, and they're going to go to 0-4. I think they're going to get their chance to get it, though, on Monday night when they play the San Antonio Spurs. I'd expect them to win that game, but for now, I think they are still held winless at the Intuit Dome. I like OKC to go in there and win this game, and I like the Thunder to cover the 6.5 points as well. Again, the Thunder are undefeated this season, and they are 5-0 against the spread as well. We're going to continue to back the OKC Thunder as they go on the road and beat the Los Angeles Clippers. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA Saturday predictions here on the channel. Make sure that subscribe button down below for more NBA predictions daily here on the channel. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.